Welcome to the Insight Drop, short segments to fuel your growth, sharpen your strategy, and challenge the status quo. This is Beyond Tradition. This episode, we're going to talk about negotiating fair compensation or really paying yourselves within a business. A single entrepreneur or a married entrepreneur with a partner that's not really in the business. There are so many dynamics that are out there.
So many dynamics.
Yeah.
Where do we start?
Where do we start? I can start with,
I guess single. Let's start with single.
Single's good.
Single entrepreneur.
You can
with no spouse. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
think, I don't know. It's every business is different, but I think
Right.
that first year, you usually don't really get to pay yourself. You're kind of living off pennies, just trying to
Mhm.
get your business to succeed.
Mhm.
So, give yourself some grace
Yeah.
and always try to stay focused on the end goal and why
Yeah.
you're doing it. The why
Yeah.
is important. And so as long as your goals are in front of you and you have some sort of plan, I
Yeah.
think you can manage it. And then compensation, I mean, the more money you make, the sooner you get to pay yourself. So
Yes.
it's one of those things.
Yeah, I remember.
Keep hustling.
Yeah.
I remember it always.
I remember the first paycheck we took from the company. I was like, "Oh my God, we just paid ourselves."
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's something to celebrate for
Yeah.
sure. 100%.
I know getting there, and what I advise and what has always been told to me is before you're starting the business, you need to figure out how are you going to pay your bills while you're not making an income,
Yes.
right?
100%. And I think any entrepreneur, you're usually working
Mm-hmm.
one or two other jobs
Right.
while you're getting started.
Yeah,
you
that was
know?
our reality.
Unless you have the capital to just
Right.
dive in and you know what I mean?
Yeah, we did a combination.
Yeah.
We had some
Yeah.
to get started. Again, from selling our house.
Yeah.
And then we also worked as we were building. And I want to say Trev went full time April of 2019.
Okay.
And then I worked for somebody else through 2020. And then I came on full time shortly after that. I was always in the background, but
Yeah.
I had a certain level of anxiety when you give up that paycheck, that weekly or biweekly, whatever.
Yeah.
That is, at that point, you are relying 100% on yourself to make it happen and get your bills paid.
Yeah, do or die.
Yes.
There's no giving up.
And I had a local business woman. I love her to death. She's a cookie lady. She's a mobile cookie lady. Makes the best cookies ever. I
Really?
use her almost every year for my customer appreciation
That's
gifts.
right. I still haven't tried her
Oh,
cookies.
She's wonderful. But her and I were talking because she was working for another company. I was working for another company, but we both had our businesses. And she was like, "When are you going to make the leap?" And I said, "I don't know. When are you going to make the leap?" And she's like, "I don't know. Let's make it a goal and try to get there together."
Smart.
And we did. Now we can look back and we both are like, we finally did it, but we both.
Yeah.
And I think that's totally normal to
I think
share
it's
that
normal for sure. I think it's great
anxiety.
that you found somebody. I think it's
Mhm.
hard for entrepreneurs that are working
Mhm.
maybe one or two other jobs trying to get their business started, finding
Yes.
somebody. So it's a blessing that you guys bumped
Yeah.
into each other
It
for
really
sure.
was.
Yeah, definitely.
She's great. But yeah, having that kind of person to be like, we got to do it. Like, we're going to have to make the leap and get over
Yeah.
it at some point. And it's true.
Yes.
Who is it true?
Yeah.
Mhm. And,
Again, you got to really want it.
and that's my recurring
It's
nightmare.
blind faith.
It's kind of.
Blind.
That's my recurring nightmare. It's like it's all
Really?
going to come crashing down.
I
I won't
mean,
have
and-
money anymore.
But you know what? If it does, it does, and you get
Yeah.
back up and you do it again or you do something else because you've
Yeah.
learned so much along the way. So
Yeah, everything
which
is
I
figure
get a lot
outable.
of eye rolls when I say stuff like that. And I was
That's
like,
true.
well, if you haven't failed in your business, one, good for you. I mean, that is something that
You
you
get a
should,
cookie.
yeah, you get all the cookies
Mhm.
and some sprinkles,
Yeah.
So, and if you can't admit failure or defeat, then
Yeah,
it's another thing that you need to work on. But
for sure.
back
What you
to
talk about in your
compensation.
book.
I do. I talk about that in my book.
Yes.
And then it just helps.
That growth mindset.
Yeah. You got to work through it.
Forward. I think
Yeah.
is what they always say.
Yeah,
Right? Fail
exactly.
forward.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not cliche, but it's one of those things that has said, if you've read any business book, it's not failure, it's growth or a learning
Right.
experience.
It is a learning experience every time.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So from single person, obviously paying yourself out of the business. We're set up as an LLC S Corp designation. So technically it's a little bit of a tax shelter. because we don't pay taxes for the business, but it flows into our personal.
Correct.
So, I think I'm not going to say the most tax advantageous. It is really highly specific. This is why you talk to professionals about how to
Yes.
form that business
Lawyer.
properly.
You need a lawyer,
Yes.
a business, or you can go to your CPA. They can usually, I mean, they can't tell you what to do, but they can lay out the options
Right.
from a tax perspective,
Right.
you know, and depending on what industry you're in, you definitely need to be looking at, you know, if you're going to stay a mom and pop, or if you
Mhm.
plan on growing
Right.
a Titan, then you need, you know what I mean? You may
Yeah.
want to set up as a corp
Right.
and not an LLC. And so,
And I think you can transition to that too when the time.
yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You definitely can when the time comes, or if
Yeah.
the time comes. But
I
you
think
know,
the hard part too
depends
is
on your plan.
And one of the things my CPA kind of brought to our attention and advised us on is paying yourself from the business. So we get a payroll check just like our employees get a
Oh
payroll
yeah, same.
check.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I'm an employee of my business.
yeah, the only thing about that is you probably need to up your tax amount that you pay, because I know
Yeah.
I have my salaries set for Trevor and I in our payroll system. But I always change my federal amount to more so that we are
Yeah.
paying more,
Yeah.
unfortunately, to the government every month.
I mean,
So
I look
kinda
at it, I
eases
know,
your tax
yeah,
burden a little bit.
I don't look at it as unfortunate. It's fortunate that you're making enough money that you have to pay Uncle
but-
Sam, which, well, yeah, it sucks. We shouldn't have to pay that much.
No, I know.
But
Oh my
yeah,
God,
I
I know.
mean, that's a
I'm kind of nervous.
different conversation for a different day.
For sure. But
But-
figuring out that fair compensation. So as
Yeah.
a couple, when
Yeah,
I was not as involved, I didn't pay myself as much, obviously.
right.
But then when I really stepped into the role and took over a lot, managed a lot more, we had to have those conversations. I said, listen, now granted, I'll just give us like our example. We have a business account and we payroll ourselves. And then we have a joint account. And
Mhm.
then we have our own single accounts.
Okay,
So,
great.
and then we have a joint savings account too. So each month we've got money that goes directly to the savings account for the joint, for the two of us.
Yeah.
That doesn't really get touched unless we want to or need to. Then I will run payroll that gets all deposited into our joint account.
Okay.
Trev gets his cut, I get my cut.
Yeah.
Something that we had to really talk about is I have multiple businesses.
Yeah.
And something that kind of dawned on me, and I didn't have the vocabulary to really have the conversation properly, but with me giving my time and energy and effort, even at 90% capacity to Loft and Plumbing, I'm not able now to put that towards my real estate.
Yeah.
My real estate business still costs money. Like it's not
Yeah.
free.
Yeah.
And like my car, my car payment, my insurance, my cell phone, that all comes out of my real estate because I'm probably
Yeah.
going to use all that for my real estate
Yeah,
business.
for
But-
sure.
But that being said, when I'm not able to put time and energy to make money, to make sales, right? How is that fair, right? Like at this
Yeah.
point. So I had to have that conversation with him kind of and say like, hey, I still have these expenses that they don't go away just because I'm working for Loft and Plumbing 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Or 90% of the time
Yeah.
now, right?
Yeah.
All of his stuff is ran through the company. So his $1,000 or his cut, whatever it is, I don't even think that was what it was before. But his cut of the money each month goes to what? Whatever
A
he
stockpile?
wants.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever he wants, right?
New
Because
truck parts?
yeah. Whereas my cut of the money
Yeah.
is going to what? Is going to fund that other business, which is my
Yeah.
decision, but like also there has to be that conversation. And
I can't see him caring if you're like, hey,
he doesn't care.
yeah, can I have I want to go.
Yeah, I need extra.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need
wanna
extra
go.
to
I want to
fund
go.
this.
Yeah, exactly. I want to go to the spa today. He'd
Right.
be like, okay.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
And we're like, here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I did kind of make it even in that
Yeah.
that my hair
Yeah.
My hair comes out of the joint, so it is what it is.
I'm sure when he gets haircuts, it comes out of the
He
joint.
does not get haircuts.
I know, but it's one of those
Yeah.
or whatever grooming. You know what I mean?
Yeah. His is more Wawa stops.
Yeah. Okay. See, that's fair. That's fair then.
Yeah. So we worked to balance that.
Freaking Wawa.
I know. But that was a conversation that had to be, and I kind of felt bad for a while because I was like, one, haven't been able to when you don't put effort towards a real estate business, you don't make money. You don't make sales.
Yeah.
And especially when I was
can see that.
sick, like from November to essentially April, May, there was no me
Yeah.
working. There
Not
wasn't-
that business for
no.
sure.
There was no showing houses. There was no answering phones, cold call. There was none of that.
Yeah.
I was just surviving, right?
Yeah. So true.
Right. So now what, right? Like that's
Yeah.
8 months, 6, 7 months of expenses without the ability to work. But whatever work I could do was loft and plumbing.
Yeah. So, I mean, you were still technically working, but not to the full extent for the real estate
Oh, yeah.
business.
I'm crazy in that I bought a hospital bed or hospital tray
Oh,
desk
yeah. Yeah.
so that I could work from bed. So you would
I love
see
it.
me, and I had the bed that goes up and down anyways. So
I love it so
my
much.
bed would be set up, and I would just be laying in bed clicking.
Hey, I mean,
that's all I could do
yeah.
to get anything done.
Yeah. I love that. I bet you still use it to this day.
To this day.
It's
I
gonna be
wheel it around my house too.
Yeah,
so if I wanna
exactly.
work from the couch, I can work from the couch.
Exactly.
What's great?
I love that so much.
It goes up and down, so I can stand up to work. Like it was
That's actually really nice.
$100 on Amazon. It was the best idea I've
Oh,
ever had.
Amazon.
But now you have to be within reason because you can lay in bed at 10 and 11 o'clock at night.
No, you got to
right?
push it out of the room at
Mhm.
nighttime when you actually need to sleep. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when it goes out the door.
Right. So when you're having those conversations, when you're thinking about these things, one, you obviously have to take in consideration your cash flow, your income,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But then, and your professional licensed person can tell you this too, you have to pay yourself a fair wage when you start W-2ing yourself. So you can't, it has to be what reasonable compensation is what they say.
Yeah. Can't pay yourself.
20 grand
Yeah.
when you would be making, or you are worth technically.
Yeah.
So as we've grown,
Or over. I've seen people pay themselves too much and they
Mhm.
don't really leave anything in the business.
oh yeah.
And that can come back and bite you
Mm-hmm.
as well. So it's there's a balance.
There's
for sure.
a balance. And especially if you're trying to like buy a house, obviously most lenders, they're going to need 2 years of you being in business, proving that you're profitable essentially before they're going to give you a mortgage. And it sucks that entrepreneurs are punished in this way because we're outside of the norm, right?
Yes.
It is what it is though. You learn that there has to be a balance. So if you are W-2ing yourself, you have to think like that W-2 at that pay stub is what is going to be used
Yes. For everything.
lending documents,
For all if you want any
rent.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So I
You
mean,
want to buy a new truck or if
Right.
you need a new truck, like everything.
yeah,
So yeah, you have to be it's definitely a bigger picture,
yes,
not just
yeah. I mean, obviously there would be years where you don't have to pay yourself as much,
yeah.
right? But then I remember when we were working to buy a house, I said we have to start paying ourselves enough to prove like,
Yeah.
right, we're still
For sure.
profitable.
Yeah.
We're taking home this page. It just makes your life a whole lot easier.
Yes.
Obviously they have non-conforming loans out there. I'm not
Yeah.
a mortgage person. I'm not going to speak on all of that yet.
I know nothing about it. I
Oh.
mean, I know basics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
There
about
are
it.
like bank statement loans. You're going to pay higher interest. There are
Oh, okay.
non-conforming loans,
Yeah.
stuff like that for entrepreneurs. Those things are out there. But I will say, I had a really great mortgage person, and she was able to get us a conventional loan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was basically because that was Trevor's trade previously, and now we're still in that same trade. So she's
Okay.
able to use his
That's
previous
really nice.
genius.
Yeah.
Would have never guessed. So common pitfalls, and I think that's kind of mentioned just now. Underpaying yourselves
Yep. Or overpaying yourself.
or overpaying yourself.
Yep.
And then obviously we need, when you're in a business with your spouse partner, You need to be evaluating your roles, responsibilities, who's doing what, of what value. I will say for us, it's like if I were only doing the accounting, bookkeeping stuff,
Yeah.
sure, pay me 20, 25 bucks an hour.
Yeah.
Where we're at now, Trevor, we're within,
Oh,
we're
100%.
equal, right?
Yes.
I pay
'Cause
him a
you have
little
to
bit more just because he is the license holder, I think, but
Yeah. But I mean, you have to think you're doing the role of 3 you're the office manager.
mhm,
You know what I mean?
CFO,
You're the yeah, you're
CEO,
exactly. So it's not
IT,
it,
AR, AP.
yeah, that's what I mean. They're doing the permitting. You know, like if
Right.
you hired all this out, that's 6 different jobs you just named that
Yeah.
I mean, if you ever got big enough, you would hire people for these.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I think, where yes, he's running the cruise and he's doing the jobs, but it's still
Yeah.
only a management position.
Mhm.
It's one position.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, or maybe 2 if he's ordering all the supplies, if your guys aren't doing that themselves or if you're doing that.
Yeah.
So, again,
Yeah.
it's but you guys have found your balance, which is huge. And
Mhm.
again, it comes to, I think, communication and respect, which we talked about in the
Right.
last episode, that
Yeah.
there has to be a lot of communication and then a lot of respect for one
Mhm.
another.
Awesome.
All right. I think that's it, guys.